Hey, greetings from a muggy, mowed down hillside. It's July. I've been really slacking on the videos the last couple of weeks. I'm getting ready to move. I solved one problem, and in the process created a whole other problem for myself. I've been trying to just secure a new place of residency, for a lack of a better term, and that was exhausting in of itself. But now I got to go fix the place up, and move my shit in. Can I say shit this early into the video? Whatever. We'll bleep it out. I think it's 2 minutes. Whatever. I had my first video get demonetized recently, but I don't care because these aren't, one way or the other, these aren't actually even monetized. So maybe we'll kick the can down the road and we'll deal with that problem at a later date. In any case, yeah. So I'll be moving soon, and as a part of that, I had to do a lot of work clearing this place out. Nice little 2-bedroom, but the whole backyard is all completely overgrown with just, bittersweet vines, the thickness of your arm, the thickness of tree trunks, really thicker than my arm, and just white mulberry. Most of the hassles coming from, number one, just dead and unsafe trees, especially freaking Norway maple, and then bittersweet, Celastris orbiculatus. But I digress. What we're looking at here in front of us is something much nicer, and rest assured, I'll be doing some videos on, that'll be a good opportunity to do some videos on how I treat and clear away, Celastris, the responsible usage of herbicide, how you can actually use herbicide, and not kill the planet. I mean, I don't spray the stuff all over your vegetable garden, but I'm talking about, imminent danger of uprooting the foundation of my house. But you get the idea. We're gonna plant a whole bunch of nice native stuff back there. It'll be a project that's gonna, years long project, and I'll be giving you updates on that. So unofficial announcement of that, but I keep dancing around the elephant in the room here. This is Lilium philadelphicum. This is a wood lily, is the common name. This is a native true lily, number one in the genus Lilium, which of course is the core genus to that whole lily family, Liliaceae, and one that, despite not being the rarest thing in the world, I have had substantial trouble in tracking down. I just see one of them here, and supposedly this hillside's a pretty well-known spot for them, but deer absolutely love eating these things, so I'm sure that plays into account. I came to this exact spot last year. In fact, I walked by this exact spot earlier today, and I somehow missed it. Maybe it just opened. I don't know. Rest assured, there's a healthy population. These aren't the rarest things in the world. So true lilies in the genus Lilium, in the family Liliaceae. I've done extensive coverage of some of its cousins, like Clintonia borealis, Erythronium americanum, Mediolia virginiana, even Streptopus, the 2 species of Streptopus we get, but never an actual lily in that genus Lilium. So say you get your people who plant freaking tiger lilies, and people who plant what's the other one, Asiatic lilies, all that stuff is forget about it, because you get your own lovely, beautiful native species in that genus right here. So lily morphology, what are we working with here? Lilies generally, if they're not going to have a basal rosette, or they're not doing what the Streptopus does, which is weird, a lot of them, at least in this genus Lilium, are definitely absolutely going to have whorled leaves. All right, so you do see that, that should be familiar if you've ever seen. I'll put up a picture of Mediolia virginiana. Does basically the same thing, so that only will produce one whorl of leaves in a flowering stalk. This will produce, as you could see, there's several whorls of leaves up the stem. Things growing about maybe 1.5 feet high. They can certainly get taller than that. Especially maybe if you're out in the Midwest, where I think this is more abundant. Things smells delightful. Blooms late June, early July, which is indeed the time of year it is right now. And just the morphology of lilies is deceptively simple. There's one aspect of this I really want to come across to you, and that's this. Look how much of a gap you get at the base of those petals, and indeed, look at the beautiful inside petals. So I should say tepals. So what we're working with here is actually you have 3 petals and 3 sepals that are indistinguishable from one another. In fact, if you kind of look down here, you can see what I'm showing you there. The middle, that's a petal, and the 2 on either side, those are the sepals. So the sepals are more plain on the back. So you can somewhat distinguish, but generally with lilies, you're talking tepals. Sepals on the outside, petals on the inside, tepals when they're indistinguishable from one another, and then of course you can get into uniseriate flowers like ranunculus. That's a whole other can of worms. It's going to have these 6 beautiful, gorgeous petals. What you're looking at there, that nice 3-lobe stigma in the center. You see that? Brush the anthers aside so you can see the stigma. 6 anthers, and the ovary on these guys. And move this down a little bit so we can get a clearer view. The ovary on these guys is superior, so it's right down there. So that whole structure in the middle here, if you can make that out, that's all the gynoecium. That's all the female parts. And put this guy nice back together. Sorry, buddy. I didn't want to disturb it too bad. So ovary, style, stigma, 6 anthers, 3 parteds. Parts of 3. It's a monocot. That's generally their trademark. And I mean, what else do you want me to say? They like it, relatively open. I would imagine they'd be doing much better on like a prairie type of habitat, but I guess this cuts it. It would have been nice. I imagine like a whole hillside, lit up with these, but I guess that's not the case. And indeed, let's take a look at what it's growing with, because this is a pretty cool plant. I've shot videos on this hill before, a few actually. There's some real interesting plants that it co-occurs with. I'll be happy to show you tons of rubus, tons of brambles. Right here, they had a great year, but they're now done. This was Lysomachia terrestis. Also having world leaves. You can see that's where the flowers came out right there. It's already finished up and gone to seed for the year. There's one, there's one little residual flower on that guy right there, one of the primroses. Take a little zoom out. God, this thing's flopping everywhere today. You can see the Lilium there, the little wood lily. Does a pretty decent job standing out. Smells incredible too if you actually get in there and you take a whiff. It smells really good. You've got some ripening blueberries, maybe hillside blueberry. What is it, Vaccinium pallidum? I don't think that's what that is though. Or maybe just Angustifolium, one of the Vacciniums, one of the 24 species of blueberry native to the area. Get you a nice Comptonia peregrina. Expert in dealing with disturbed, kind of crappy habitats like this. Dumps out a ton of nitrogen back into the soil. Good for remediation. You get Baptisia tinctoria in here too, starting to bloom. I'll show you that in a minute though. And then a couple cool asters. We'll go take a look at a few things. There's a cool milkwort that's supposed to be going off over here, but I gotta take some pictures of the lily first. Yeah, okay. You want to talk about some cool asters. This is a neat plant and a neat genus. So this is Sericocarpus. I think I used to call it Sericocarpus. It's Sericocarpus. Sericocarpus linifolius. And this whole genus is endemic to basically pretty much the United States. Maybe you get a little bit in Canada where the ranges overlap, but pretty much restricted. You get, I think, 2 common species on the East Coast, like east of like the Great Plains, well east of maybe starting to get into the prairie states. I digress, but definitely in Appalachia you get this. And then you also get a handful of species that are just basically just absolutely pushed up against the Pacific Ocean on the West Coast. I wouldn't say Pacific Northwest, because you definitely do get them down into California, but a pretty narrow band of distribution, different species, pretty narrow band of distribution over there on the West Coast. So that's cool. I always love seeing distributions like that. Veratrum viridi has a distribution like that. It's really, really bizarre. Loves the disturbance, likes it sandy, likes it difficult to grow in. It's a pretty, stiff and unyielding plant, leathery and wiry when you handle the thing. And of course, there's the There's the front view of the capitula. Is it already time for me to give my Aster speech this year? I will. I will not hesitate. So you get those little ray flowers there, and then in the middle, tiny disc flowers. So this is each one of these little things that looks like an individual flower is just a cluster of multiple, even smaller flowers down in the middle. The flowers are held in something called an involucre, and the involucre is wrapped by these nice little modified bracts called phylaries, which on this particular species do this nice recurved thing. Sericocarpus linifolius. Another master of disturbance along with Baptisia tinctoria and Comptonia peregrina. You can go, I guess we could go look. There's a Baptisia with a couple flowers out. I should really honestly, I've been so lazy about doing plant spotlights. It is what it is. I filmed so much in April, like early in the season. I'm not that worried about it. And we'll be straightened out after July. But July historically, I don't really. It's kind of this awkward time of year. You get some stuff like this just starting, but a lot of the stuff I really like, the spring stuff, is already wrapped up. I guess this Platanthera you could go look at. I'm gonna do a video about Platanthera buffargatus in a little bit. But anyway, so Sericocarpus. Oh, I'll show you the leaves too. There are the leaves, kind of almost oppressed to the stem here. Cool plant. Breaks my heart that people are probably planting oxeye daisy and tiger lily instead of Sericocarpus and wood lily, even though never mind the fact that they literally evolved here and that they are supposed to be here, but also this plant would pretty much grow in any shitty conditions you can throw at it, provided your ground's not too you're not dealing with too much clay, and you're giving it plenty of sun. It likes the sand and sun. So go take a look at Baptisia tinctoria, which also likes the sand and the sun. And actually that one, every once in a while you see Baptisia tinctoria growing in a forest. So in any case, Sericocarpus linifolius. Don't need to spend much more time on that. We'll go take a look at Baptisia tinctoria. Honestly, we'll probably get out of here. So it's it's still early in the season for these guys. This will be come back in a couple weeks. All of these will be lit up a beautiful yellow with their nice little pea flowers here. And indeed, this is a pea. This is Baptisia tinctoria, in the pea family Fabaceae. And this is a real tough bastard of a plant, for lack of a better term. This thing will come up and thrive in disturbance. Really good to help remediate soil. If you've got a crappy lawn that you're trying to get rid of, and it's just been heavily trafficked and just worn down, there's no nutrients leached out, whatever you want to call it, this plant will happily grow there. And not only will he do that, he will help remediate your soil by producing nitrogen. I mean, most legumes are pretty renowned for that. Peas in general are pretty well known for the benefits they have on the plants around them, as far as providing nutrients for the soil. Pea flowers, the thing gets lit up, supports a whole bunch of cool insects, thrives on neglect. I'm not sure how many people plant these. I think there's like a cultivar of this or another species of Baptisia that is a pretty popular ornamental. But this one, to the untrained eye, it just looks like weeds, but it's not. Another cool trait of this guy here is he's rocking, no petiole, well, barely a petiole. These nice tri-lobed leaves, like a pea should. And I think these things at the end of the season, they're perennial, but they die back. I mean, it's technically a forb. I don't think that they get very woody, nor do they get very big. Another benefit of planting this, they don't get very big, and they have that nice chalky color. Although they can kind of look, I guess they can kind of look kind of ugly when they do die back, because they turn like charcoal black. They look like they've been burnt when they do finally die off at the end of the season. I'll double check that. Unless I'm mistaken, I'm 90% sure it's a short-lived, short-lived, perennial. I don't even think you can call it a shrub. I think it's just a forb. It just dies back like a milkweed or like Joe Pye weed. But you get the point. In any case, I come out to areas like this and I treat it like a shopping trip, because you know all this stuff is going to grow just fine no matter what you throw at it. So Lilium philadelphicum, Sericocarpus linifolia, and Baptisia tinctoria. You got a whole bunch of other great stuff here too, but I'll put a link to that video. I came and I did a pretty extensive video about that last year. Couldn't a little too late for the polygramma, but I'll get to it next year. I gotta be editing a polygala possifolia video here pretty soon, and you'll get it. That's probably the most interesting milkwort we get anyway. So without dragging this out too long, I think I'll cut it off there, and we'll leave this as a nice short little just a couple subjects in this video. Have a good one. Yeah, I messed around for a little bit longer. I found some more of them. These ones are looking like they're almost done though. I should mention as well, very short-lived flowers. Happy I found the one that I found. Huh. A little bit further up the hill. The merits of urban botany, man. You get stuff like this right in your backyard. Beautiful, beautiful Lilium philadelphicum. Next year we'll track down Lilium superbum and Lilium canadens too. Lilium superbum's the Turk's cap lily. It's got, it'll have, I think canadens does this too, but superbum, smaller flowers, more of a red thing. They're upside down. It's a real weird looking fucker. I'll put a picture up of that. And you also get Lilium canadens, which is yellow, which I think does have multiple flowers, per plant too. But different color, slightly different texture to the tepals too. Anyway, that's really all I got actually. Lilies. Why would you ever go back to? Why wouldn't you want this in your yard? Why would you ever go back to Home Depot shit? After learning that we've got not one, not two, but 3 really cool, beautiful native lilies. I'll show you the other 2 some other time, but great plant. Great plant.